Hello and welcome to another session of our quarantine art class. Today, we're going to get a little bit spicy with some spices. We're going to make some paint using everyday household art materials and non-art materials, household items such as turmeric. And we also have cayenne pepper. If you have time, you can make it green. I don't have any of that, but I have the cinnamon, so I'm gonna see what that looks like. I have my trusty Elmer's glue for the paint binder. I also have some more of my glitter glue that's been so popular. And today, I also have a new household art material that you may or may not have laying around, depending on if you have women in your family or in your life. So if you are lucky enough to have a woman with makeup, you can use that if you have some old makeup. And look at this, lipstick is a perfect flesh tone. We have this one here. It's a little bit darker. And we also have some nail polish. And this is eyeliner, I believe, but that's black. Maybe it's not eyeliner. I'm getting to know on the eyeliner. What is this? This is lacquer of some kind. Maybe this is still nail polish. Let's see. Well, it's black, so we're gonna use it. And what else do we have? We have some makeup palettes here. Well, this isn't just ordinary paint. This is cosmetic paint. So you can use this to paint on people, basically. And we have different colors. And of course, we have our markers, pens, pencils, X-Acto knives, the standard materials. But today we're going to try out something new with our food paint and our makeup paint. So let's try it out today. So one thing that I would like to continue doing is drawing the face and the body. We can also draw letters as well, and we'll get into that soon enough. But before I begin, I would like to talk about ideas and where those come from and how we get them. Well, if you don't know what to do when you are faced with a blank canvas, what can you do? Well, you can look for guidance. If you have the internet, or if you have books or magazines laying around, you can find reference photos and images for you to use and draw from. And this is a great way to learn and to develop your skills drawing in different styles. So I have here some comic catalogs, some comic books. This is an old comic book from way back when called The Max. That's really super cool. And it's about this awesome superhero and his adventures. So I like to look at all sorts of different material. Here's another comic book, and look at how they draw these figures in exaggerated ways. And there's all sorts of things you can learn from them, like colors and shadows and highlights and how to draw in different ways. And so I like to look at camera, to look at different photographs, different magazines with old-timey photos. Like those can be fun to draw. We have here a graffiti magazine. Look at this awesome piece. Look at those colors. Look at those shapes, the gradients and the style. We have here another art magazine juxtaposed with one of my favorite artists, David Cho, who I've gotten to meet before, and his beautiful paintings. Lots of inspiration. Look how wild those are. Lots of expressive brush marks, faced from the profile. And this is an experimental artist right here. So this is a great guide to look at during the quarantine if you're experimenting and trying new things. Check out David Cho. Look at these old photographs by Edward S. Curtis of Native Americans and their costumes and their dress and their way of life. Beautiful imagery to draw from, to paint, to learn. Very cool imagery. Ooh, very powerful. And of course, we have Chinese paintings from the Ming and Qing dynasty, 14th through 20th centuries. Now, there's words in these books, not just photos, but lots of very cool landscape imagery. Maybe you're drawn to the landscape and that's what inspires you. Well, look at what other people have done and see what inspired them. And of course, I have one of my all-time favorite artists from history, El Greco. Now, he was around during, about the end of the Renaissance period in Greece. He's Greek. He painted traditional scenes, but in a brand new way. So at the time, everyone was focused on perfection and making things look as real as possible, while El Greco stylized his paintings with expressive brush marks, and he elongated the figures so that they didn't have a perfect anatomy. He stretched his figures and he floated them up in the air, and he wrapped them in electric clothing that flows in the wind, and he added all this spectacular lighting. These things are fantastical, and he showed them in a way that was believable, yet in a style completely unique in his own. But is any idea ever really our own? Or do we just always draw inspiration from those who came before us? Well, these are things that we want to contemplate today. So having looked at all these images, what do you feel? What do you want to represent? What do you want to draw on this paper? Well, me personally, I like drawing faces and people, but you might want to draw buildings or landscapes. Maybe you could do both, like we did last week. Well, let's try it again. Let's see what we come up with today, and let's invent some new paint. All right, so we're gonna start with our colors. I want that paint ready to go. So after I get my drawing, I'll just be able to apply it. So I gotta put my glue. I didn't clean my palette, but you can still see. I'm gonna put my glue, squirt it out in here on my palette. And I'm gonna start with the spices today. I wanna see what those can do. So I'm gonna start with this turmeric. Maybe you could look around, ask your family, see what spices they got laying around. You might be able to mix them and create a brand new color. All right, so I'm just going to take my turmeric, and ooh, that smells delicious. And I'm just gonna pat it on there. Now I'm gonna take my brush. I'm gonna mix that turmeric right in there. And already I can tell that's like a nice golden yellow. Oh, wow, that's really nice. And if you want to, we're getting a little bit of green in there from the brush, but that's kind of cool. It gives us this yellowish green. So that just shows me, one, I need to get a clean brush, and two, I just made a really cool color. All right, so let me get a clean brush. Where'd those go? Right here. All right, so let's try that again. We're gonna do another round. That's why it's important to clean your brushes and your palette, guys. Can't get lazy like I did. All right, so we're gonna do another round of the turmeric. Add it in there. Get the excess off. And stir it around. And so the more you add, obviously, the more vibrant it will be. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more. And I'm just kind of gonna scoop it out with my finger this time. All right, so I added a little bit more in there. here, and you can see it on my brush. Gotta mix it in. All right, so this, let's put it down on the page and see what kind of a color it makes. Now, obviously, the more you mix it, the more fine the particles will be, so it might blend better, but so far that's kind of nice. I'll come in a little bit more so you can see. All right, so let's try another. Let's try the cinnamon, or the cayenne rather. Try the cayenne pepper. Now the cayenne kind of has a reddish orange, brown kind of look. So I'm actually going to put the powder in first this time. I'm going to do it on a piece of paper or on this clear so you can see better. That's what I'll do. All right. 1 second. All right, so I'm putting the cayenne pepper on my new clean palette, and it's kind of coming out chunky. All right, we're gonna mix it up. Clean brush. Always do a clean brush when you're doing a new color. Otherwise, you'll contaminate it with the last one. So taking my clean brush, mixing that in. Gotta mix it in good. It's kind of chunky. So obviously the finer the spice, the more powdery it is, the better. But already this one, let's see how it looks. Maybe we just need a little bit more. Oh, there we go. It's coming out kind of a tan color. Tannish color here. And let's put it on the paper. It's coming out a little chunky. Gotta spread it out. If you add layers from the glue, if you add another layer, so right now it's a little transparent. Second closer there. At those two colors, the cayenne pepper and the turmeric. The turmeric's turning out really nice. All right, now let's try the cinnamon. Now the cinnamon is a little finer powder, so I'm imagining it's going to come out, I love the smell of cinnamon. I'm imagining it's gonna come out kind of brown. So I put the cinnamon on first, and now I'm gonna add the glue. I'm trying it different ways. Sometimes I add the glue first, sometimes I add the spice first. Either way, if it's mixed, that's what we want. All right, so I'm gonna get a new brush. You can use your finger even. You don't have to use a brush, but I'm just trying to keep my hands clean. So let me get a new one. All right, so now I'm gonna mix it up. That's sliding around a little bit, but that's okay. Oh, here it comes. See it going there? All right, and sure enough, that is coming out a nice brown color. This would make for an interesting skin tone, actually.